Hello. So,
Welcome to Magic Kingdom.
yes, we are in the Magic Kingdom in a little corner, and we've got our mics on, so we're not being super loud, I promise. Today, we are going to do a wheelchair user's guide to using the Disney Disability Access Service, or DAS.
Yes.
Now, DAS is not available just because you're in a wheelchair. It's an option for people who have a difficulty waiting in lines, be that a cognitive impairment or a physical impairment that makes it physically difficult to be in one spot at a time, or the stress of crowds, or any of the reasons that
Yeah.
make being in a line difficult. So now, if you are in a wheelchair and also have other conditions, as Adam does, that make it difficult to be in a line, that it is available for you. But if you just need a wheelchair, Disney has made the majority of their queues wheelchair accessible, and so you don't need the desk. But we'll talk a little bit more about those queues in a minute. The Disability Access Service is a little bit confusing. People think of it as an option for an alternative to Genie Plus, something like that.
Or cutting lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's in a way it is, but not.
So you're not cutting the line. So the analogy I like to use is, imagine that you're going to a nail salon or a barber, somewhere where the
Okay.
majority of people don't have appointments, right? So the standby queue is basically like those people who are in line that just sort of show up, they're in line, they're waiting for their turn to get their nails done or their hair done or whatever. DAS is as though the salon owner has a deal with the furniture store next door. And it's more comfortable at the furniture store, and they have chairs at the furniture store, and it's air conditioned at the furniture store. And so
Yeah.
they say, hey, listen, I know it's difficult for you to wait in my waiting room, so I'm going to let you go hang out in the furniture store. I have a deal with them. Go sit there, go relax, have a cup of tea, whatever. Then when it's your turn, I will let you know, and you come, and it's your turn. So it's waiting somewhere else. It's not skipping the line. That's different than, say, the Genie Plus. Genie Plus and the individual lightning lanes, those are like having an appointment, right? So there you have booked a time. For Genie Plus, it's the next available. And for
Right.
the individual lightning lane selections, where the newest rides that are most popular, you can buy that one ride to be a Genie.
Right.
So for those, you have an appointment. You are showing up at a certain time. And so those are like the people who make an appointment at the nail salon or make an appointment at the barber. And so you're sitting there in line, and all of a sudden this person comes in, they've been here 30 seconds, and suddenly they're in the chair. That's because they have an appointment, and that's like having the DAS or the lightning lane. And yes, just like those people at the barbershop, people will look at you funny, because it's like, why do you get to go ahead when I'm still waiting? Then there's a fourth system that people don't talk about much, and that is the wheelchair return times. So in those cases, the salon has decided that, hey, I actually can't get you in my front door and through my waiting room because the wheelchair's not going to work.
Right.
And so I need you to come through the back door. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is go sit over at the furniture store like the other folks, right? And when it's your turn, I'm going to bring you in through the back door, because my waiting room is not accessible to you.
Right.
So there are a couple of rides within Magic Kingdom. There is Big Thunder Mountain, for example, where you have to enter through the exit. There is Jungle Cruise, where there's only 2 boats that can accommodate you, so they give you a turn time and you come back.
Future Brooke here. Space Mountain and It's a Small World also use this system.
So those can happen regardless of whether you have DAS, as long as you're on wheels, right? So if
Right.
you're in a wheelchair or a scooter and you want to take your scooter onto the boat, or if you're in a wheelchair and you need to take your wheelchair onto the boat, then Jungle Cruise, you just go up to them. Everybody in your party has to go.
Right. So you have to scan in. One person scans, or the primary scans in, and everyone else scans in right behind them to get everybody on the list at the same time. So that's why, yeah.
Exactly. Now, one common question we get is, can you use these things at the same time? The answer is yes. So we are actually filming a second video today where we are going to see how many things we can ride. We're essentially stacking things. And so stay tuned for that video, and we will show you how you can actually combine these programs to maximize your day when necessary here at Walt Disney World. There are 2 ways that you can apply for the Disability Access Service. Option 1 is the way that it's always been, where you go to guest relations the day you arrive and you explain your situation, and they go talk to you about like what your concerns are, and then if they deem you eligible, then they will put the DAS pass onto your account, and then you'll be able to use those rides. The other option that is a new option that started like post-COVID is the advanced option, where you can actually go online between 2 and 30 days before your technically before your last park day. Some cast members will, if you call 30 days from your first park day, will let you do all of them, but not
Yeah,
always. So
but
if you
not
want to
always.
be sure that you're going to be able to do them all, do it 30 days before your last park day. And you actually go online.
It's a chat,
Virtual
virtual chat.
and then there is a video component where they will come on and they will interview you. It
Right.
takes a while.
So if you get in the queue, basically you have to wait. You may walk away. You'll get a pop-up saying, "Hey, are you ready now?" So yeah, pay attention because you may be sitting on the phone or in the chat window waiting a while for them to get back with you. But once they do get back with you, it's maybe 4 minutes, maybe.
It depends. It really
Depends.
But it can. I mean, people have waited, and we have waited hours in that queue. So a
Yeah.
lot of times we'll just do it when we get here. There are two big advantages of doing it when you in advance. Number one, it takes one less thing to worry about, right? You don't have the
Right.
anxiety of worrying about, okay, what if they don't approve me? What am I going to do then? So you can get that out of the way. You know you're approved. The other advantage is advanced dash selections. And so
Yeah.
you can pick two rides. It's not every ride. You can't choose Rise of Resistance. You can't choose the most popular
Tron
rides.
or
But you can pick two rides and get appointments essentially for those two rides. Those two rides don't count against your DAS during
in
the park.
park.
In the park, you get one DAS, you use it, and then you can get another. You use that, you get another, use that, etc. So you have one at a time. The advanced DAS, you have two, and then once they're done, they're done. They don't count against that one. So when you start your day, you could have three essentially. So when you get a DAS selection in the park, you have from the time that it says for you to come back until the end of the day, till park closes.
Yeah.
So let's say you get a DAS and then you need a nap, you need a break, you need to go sit down for a while. You don't have to worry about being late for those. However,
Or expiring, yeah.
or expiring for until park close. Then it expires. You can't go the next day.
Everyone's got to go.
However, the ones that you get in advance, those do expire. So you need to use them in the window that that it says. So it'll give you a 1 hour window. Make sure you use it or it'll go away.
Right.
No penalty, it just goes away. You just won't
Right.
be able to use it anymore. You make the DAS selections in the app, or you can, if you don't want to use your phone, you actually don't have to. You can go to any of the guest services cast members throughout the park and ask them to make your next DAS selection. So if you actually don't like cell phones, or you can't use your cell phone in the park, or for whatever reason you just don't want to be on your phone all day, you can actually go to those umbrellas, ask them to make your next selection.
They'll make it for
after
you
do
and
the
put
last
it on your thing.
So that is an option. If you're ever having trouble with the DAS on your phone, if for whatever reason maybe you go on a ride and then it doesn't show that you went, so it won't let you do another one, go to those umbrellas. They will be able to fix it.
Yeah.
They are your friends. Anytime
Yeah.
you have any problem related to your medical condition, your
Or
disability,
anything,
anything really,
Go to the Blue Little Tents.
go to the Blue Umbrellas.
And
They
they'll
are
take you
amazing.
right.
They will help you. They'll help you figure it out. One
Again-
other thing about using DAS, I've had some questions about like, well, are people going to know that I'm using DAS? Not really. So when it's time for you to use your DAS, you're actually going to go in the lightning lane, the same place that everybody else goes.
You go directly to the lightning lane.
Right. And so now when you get to the ride, the person who is the DAS holder has to go first. So if that's your child, then make sure you scan their badge first before anybody else's. And the person with the DAS holder has to ride. So if they decide that they don't want to ride this anymore, no one's riding. If everybody else wants to ride, they need to go back in the standard line. When you go up to the queue and you scan your Magic Band or your ticket or whatever you're using, then it will turn blue. The cast member gets a little pop-up, they flip a switch, and then
It'll turn green. Then everyone else subsequently after them or you would be green also.
they also turn blue if it's a problem, right? So if there's another DAS user behind you, they might know that person's using DAS because it went blue and then it went green. But for the majority of people, they're just going to think there was some technical glitch, and Lord knows Disney has tons of technical glitches. So there really isn't going to be any way that people know that you're using this service. If they're looking at you funny, they're just jealous that you got to skip the line. For all they know, you paid for it. If you decide to apply in person, the cast members are very discreet. You can whisper all you need to. If you need to explain the disability for someone else, let's say that your child isn't very good at articulating their concerns, very reasonable. Or let's say your husband isn't very good at articulating his concerns.
We know no words.
Then you can do that for them. They still have to be present,
Yeah.
both in person, if you do it in person, or if you do it online, they have to be present. Online, they have to get their picture taken. In person, they also get their picture taken.
Yeah.
And so they do have to be present. But they do not have to be an active participant in the conversation. So don't worry about that. If that's an issue, someone else can explain your concerns for you. They can do it quietly.
It's very convenient. So like I said, like Brooke said earlier, it's people who have difficulty with the lines. So don't feel bad about it or anything like that. Hey, they make it accessible for everyone. So it's fairly straightforward to use and easy to do. So just basically just go ahead and use the service that they have available.
Obviously, Disney is going to ask questions because they do want to make
Right.
sure that no one's
You're not
abusing the
abusing it.
system.
And
Because that has
unfortunately,
happened.
it has happened a lot.
yeah.
And so Disney is not cracking down, but they're being more proactive to make sure that the correct people are using the service correctly.
Exactly.
So yeah,
So don't get too nervous if they ask you questions or say, well, could you try this? Could you try that? But just, let them know. We also are not going to talk about how we get, the reasons that we use DAS, because it would, we certainly don't want to perpetuate people abusing the system by just like copying and saying all of Adam's concerns. If you do need it, if it is a true issue for you to wait in lines, if you really just can't do the park, if you had to wait in all those lines, which I mean is the truth for Adam, then go ahead and ask for it, and it's here for you. There's no cost for DAS. It does not matter whether you're staying on property or staying off-site.
off-site.
You don't have to earn it.
Right. The service is there to help you and to help you enjoy the park. And of course, Disney wants us in the park, spending our money and them getting everything else. So they're going to do everything they can to make sure you are in the park, stay in the park, and enjoy it. So use the service that they have. Use it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like, oh, okay, well, I feel embarrassed. No. Disney, if you're in this park, there's like scooters everywhere, and you can see there's like, yeah. So don't feel bad if you're using a scooter or using some type of mobility aid. Just go on everybody else. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Disney is here to enjoy. If you need help booking the trip to Disney and someone who is an expert in this, contact Brooke at Vacation with the Magic, and we will do what I can to make sure you enjoy your trip and maximize everything you can.
Absolutely. We will do desk consultations. We will, not telling you what to say, but walking you through the process, making sure you understand what to expect so that you can have a smooth experience. Exactly. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions that we haven't answered, please add them in the comments. We will address them in the comments and perhaps do another video. Be on the lookout for that video that we're going to do next, which is how to maximize using the various services together in order to maximize your time here at Disney.
All right. Thank you.
So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.